Welcome back, YouTube listeners, to the second part of the President of America on this episode of Shrink the State podcast. I know that you guys are just as pumped as I am to hear what we have to say, so let's listen in.
How about let's say the things, we'll say the things we disagree on, but first let's say, what are things that we agree on that Donald Trump has proposed?
He's orange.
We agree that he is orange.
He is orange. Well, he is an oompa loompa. He is his own race. Wait, what?
I actually thought he actually starred in that movie. Do you know the movie where he starred in?
Oh, Home Alone.
No, Willy Wonka.
Oh.
Yeah, he was one of the extras in the background.
He was the Oompa Loompa.
He was the Oompa Loompa.
He was. Yes.
He wasn't Home Alone though, because he walked through the Trump hotel, and then he's like, "Hey, can you tell me where the hotel room is?" And he's like, "Oh, it's just right up there."
Yeah, I saw.
He's in there for 10 seconds.
Interesting.
He's in there for 10 seconds.
Cool.
He's also in the Little Rascals as well.
They were actually in Trump's hotel, I believe.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
they were.
Yeah, and he's also in the Little Rascals.
But
anyways, the things I agree on. Well, look at America's economy. It's booming right now. Look at their tax rates and how low they are. That's great. I agree on his pro-Israel stance and how he's done that so far. I agree that right now in New York, I don't know if you guys heard, there's a little sneak peek, a little tiny news segment, but New York passed a bill, I don't know if you heard this, that is allowing them to have 9-month abortions. You know when you have a baby, William? At 9 months. It's a fully formed third trimester baby. It's now illegal to have in New York. And know what they did? The entire court was cheering like crazy. And at the outside of that place, they lit it up with pink lights everywhere.
Did it really pass? I'm pretty sure they
pass.
tried.
It passed. It replaced.
It passed?
They even said that if the baby came out and the mother still didn't want it, they would terminate the life there.
What?
I'm not joking. Yeah.
No.
Recently.
I heard about all of this. It's been on fire lately. I didn't know what actually passed. I thought it just proposed.
Yeah, it passed.
I'd never thought it actually passed. That's insane.
That's why Donald Trump came out recently and said that he was going to be putting legislation in place to stop third trimester abortion.
I thought that just prevented it from getting passed.
Would it be a what's it called? That thing that the presidents can do?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the term, but where they can override bills.
No, where they can have relations with other people and no one talks about it. Yes, the first one.
Oh, yes.
That one's getting cut.
I don't know. I don't get it.
It's an all new low to the left. That's all I can say. That is ridiculous. Killing babies after they're already born. Killing babies at the very end of the pregnancy. They're already a living thing. Do you really think that
I thought that was a super, super small amount of pro-choice people. I guess not.
Apparently not.
I'm not going to worry about it.
But yeah, that's just something like his pro-life stance. I'm glad. He's trying his best on the issues of gun control. He's done a pretty good job, I'd say. Obviously, look, he was president when the Las Vegas shooting happened. He was president when not the Orlando shooting. I think that was when Obama was president. But he was president when lots of these shootings has happened. There's been small, because what they call a mass shooting is anything over 4 murders. He was president when the thing happened in Charlottesville. The whatever you want to call it, the far right alt-right movement came. The person was killed there. He was president through all of this. He could have handled that situation better. He could have worded that one better. But I've agreed with him on a lot more than I thought I would. I'll just word it like that.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that we disagree that he's done?
Well, what do you agree with?
Unless there are things what are things you guys agree with? Not just me.
William, anything that you agree with that he's done? Besides hit on his daughter?
We'll cut out.
Yes, done that, hasn't
No, I agree on a lot of the policies he's passed.
he? He just said she was beautiful.
I agree that, like I said, he's lowered taxes. He's made the economy a bit better. He's trying to open up the market a little bit. I disagree, obviously, on the tariffs, being libertarian and all that.
Like as I said, for me, I jumped on the Trump trend quite quickly. I did notice, I saw his tax cuts. My question is just, with the deficit, are these tax cuts going to allow, are they going to cover the deficit, right? Like, say you have a spending bill, right? And you have this giant spending bill, and you take away the income that's going to cover that spending bill. Now you're in the hole. What are you going to do? So I'm not sure if it created a deficit or not, but I do know that around 90 companies, a total of 90 companies, have actually, from these tax cuts, created either a wage increase or bonuses. So that's amazing. That's quite amazing.
Sure.
I agree with what he said about. I like what he had to say with Charlottesville. He said that there were bad people on both sides, whereas the media,
people made that like the worst thing he's ever said in the world.
I mean, it's true.
It is.
There were bad people on both sides. There was good people in the Charlottesville rally. Some people were there.
We're just there to report.
Some of them were just conservatives. It was a Unite the Right rally.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of it went out of hand.
Yeah.
No, it's not good. I do think some of the things they said was a little outrageous. But as I said, both sides. I mean, we have Antifa on one side, and we have some alt-righters on the other. These are both terrible people. Yeah. If they took each other out, the world would be a better the world would be a better place. But no, I don't actually mean that.
Pause your thought. I'm gonna go pee. Continue the podcast without me. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
So this is just reporting on Justin Dean. I mean,
keep recording. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything that you guys are saying about Trump and all that good stuff. Well, I hope the mics didn't pick that up, but never mind. Shush. Stop talking. You're not allowed to talk about this. This is supposed to be a child-friendly podcast. That's certainly what I put it as. It's what I rate it as when I send it out.
Yeah, well, it'll be child-friendly.
Yeah, we'll have to cut it. After we cut half of the podcast out.
We'll just have to bleep some parts out. Just bleep it.
Funny.
Anyway, yeah, so Trump.
What do you think of origami?
Origami? Personally, I think the Chinese should have focused their efforts on making forks instead of how to fold paper.
Yeah, I don't get that. How is the oldest cultures in the world still using chopsticks? They're sticks they're using to eat with. What on earth? How inefficient is that?
It's not just sticks. Like, sticks I can understand. But they cut the tip off the sticks, so you can't even use it like a fork. It's
you can't stab anything.
The one use of stick,
I'm back.
Squeezing two sticks together to pick up food. How primitive is that?
I mean, at least keep the ends. Like, at least keep the stick parts. Like, we've had spear technology for ages.
I'm back. That pee was like, what, 45 seconds?
And we talked about origami.
I didn't flush or wash my hands.
We just insulted.
I don't care.
That's really gross and I hate you.
I don't care.
Let's shake hands.
If it's brown, flush it down. If it's yellow, let it mellow.
And not wash your hands is not part of the poem.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
But yeah, no,
go to the.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I might disagree with maybe. No, actually, I agree with most of the stuff you said and most of his.
But the thing is, right? The thing that I like about us three, what we're trying to do is we're trying to seek the truth with what we're doing. When it comes to the wall stuff that we were talking about earlier, if I'm wrong, I'm going to address it the next time that we figure it out, and then we're going to come to a conclusion of, okay, this looks like, from what the data we've gathered, this looks like what could be the case. I think that's good about us three. We're not trying to be ignorant of facts. If there are facts out there that are different from what we see, we'll try to take those into our opinions.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we all disagree on certain things. We all have disagreements, but we agree on the fundamentals. The foundation for those fundamentals vary. Mm-hmm. For example, the rights things. I mean, we believe in God-given rights because you and me are Christians, Justin. James is secular, so he has more of a secular view on how rights and systems like that work. But we agree in the fundamentals, and we're all kind of libertarian right, I guess you might say. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to, I don't know, unite people across the political spectrum. We have our different views upon going public. I just like to say right now, guys, the reason why you won't see our faces or full names on the podcast is different for all of us. For me personally, is because behind this voice here is the body of a Greek god. And if all the married women out there would see this, I can't finish the sentence. I tried so hard to keep a straight face.
Behind the name Justin,
you can't do poker. I mean,
behind the name Justin is a majestic, slick, unicorn, Pegasus, beauty of a man. I have a hairy chest, a chiseled jawline. No, I'm just kidding. I'm pretty ugly and small.
actually
small in my body size, not in other things.
That's not actually very attractive at all. The whole Pegasus thing. But like
I don't know where
saying,
that came from. That's off the top.
Married,
I'm freestyling.
If all the married...
Wait. Furry confirmed. Furry confirmed.
I'm not a furry.
Furry confirmed.
I'm not a furry. Oh, okay, I'm a furry.
If all the married ladies out there saw my picture on the podcast, saw what I look like, they'd all divorce their husbands just to come find me. And you know what? I don't want to contribute to the divorce epidemic right now.
Yeah, we think divorce is wrong.
Divorce rate is like 50%.
I think divorce is wrong, so I'm not going to contribute to that. So that's why you guys... I'm doing a big favor for you. You're welcome.
I think if they
for
saw
not
your
putting
picture,
my picture up.
if they saw your picture, that would be considered woman abuse.
I'm
Because
doing
their eyes would be tortured by your ugliness.
I'm doing the world
This
a
is why
favor
we're
too,
not
but
friends.
I'm doing the world a favor too by not putting my picture online. I don't want people to throw up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree.
Let's just finish up here.
We're talking about a gelatinous blob. I got boobs, man. I got boobs.
He's got moobs.
I mean, I believe that most straight people are attracted to me just because I've got boobs. I don't think most of them are gay. They're just like, oh, this guy has boobs. I like it.
He's like Jello. If he since he sits down and goes.
They were.
Anyways, let's tie this back. Let's tie this
You
back
will not
to.
believe the folds. The folds should not be there.
He can hide he's got a wallet built into his belly. He's like, oh, you're paying credit or debit? Oh, credit. Okay, here we go. And slide it back in.
I I seriously cannot reach into my belly button. I just get stuck. I have a hard time.
He has pretty much a whole cabinet down there. He can open up his rolls and he's got anything you need.
The left, it would be screaming at us right now.
Have you had
the fat shaming we're doing.
Have you had, you've had those little bowl things that you used to bounce on,
Oh,
the
yeah.
handle?
Yeah.
That's my butt.
Can I bounce on it?
Absolutely.
Shoot. I hate myself. Okay, how about we tie this back up?
I don't even have to walk. I just bounce.
Now I think when you walk, it goes. It
does.
Your butt does that?
I'm from Texas, guys. It's
the good
okay.
news of being fat is that you're bulletproof.
We're cutting out a lot again, aren't we?
I hope so.
Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, let's bring this back to. Let's just end on this. Two things here.
Well, weren't we going to disagree with Trump?
Oh yeah. What are our disagreements with Donald Trump?
Yeah, this is the best part. This is the part that people actually tune in for. Why do we disagree? How evil is he?
You first.
Racist.
Okay, I'll go first. That was weird. My disagreements are one. You sound like a dying squirrel. I think the way that his outlandish tweets could go without. I think obviously personally he could be more libertarian. He's still pretty big government for lots of things. His rhetoric could be better, the way he words things. Obviously, he does not seem like a president, obviously. That's the reason why lots of people like him, and I think it's done him good in certain areas, and it's done him worse in other areas.
He's not very professional.
Not very professional.
No.
Is that needed? And sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not the biggest deal. Other areas, yeah, it is good to be professional, and as a person, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. It's clear that he's a womanizer. I think he's on his third or fourth wife now. Some things he's done in the past. I mean, obviously as a Christian, I forgive, but I'm forgiving him for those things. But it doesn't look past that. He hasn't had the best past in that sense. Mm-hmm. I disagree with him there. Fundamentally, though, those are probably my main disagreements with him. I could think of some later on. These just off the top of my head, those are my main disagreements.
Yeah, and when people ask me if I'm a Trump supporter or whatever, I'm not really sure what a Trump supporter means. I feel like
what does a Trump supporter mean?
I feel like the left just made that up so they can just put everyone into one category.
Yeah.
Either you're 100% with them or you're 100% against them.
I was a Trump supporter at one point. I did support most of his act. Up until I think once he started saying that he was going to ban bump stocks is where I jumped off the wagon. Like the moment he said, "Hey, I'm going to ban bump stocks," I'm like, dude, that's
Federally,
a right. That's a right.
Yeah.
Right? That's the right of self-ownership. Like, you own yourself, therefore you get to buy bump stocks. You're not... Look, it's
different. It's federally done. Like, he's saying ban them completely across the nation.
And it's done because you know how you can replace bump stocks? You know how you just attach the... Yeah.
It's very easily done in your backyard.
Yeah, you can fix that. And all it's going to do is... No one's going to give up their bump stocks. They're going to bury it, or they're going to buy it off the black market.
Exactly, 100%. That was a weird thing that he did there.
So I'm like, no, I don't like you anymore because I don't give an inch on this.
I'm kind of like Ben Shapiro in a way where I say I'm not all Trump and I'm not against Trump. I am sometimes Trump.
Yeah.
There's good Trump and there's bad Trump.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm not 100% with him. I'm not 100% against him. And what I was going to get at was I agree with a lot of things he's done for the country. Again, like Justin was saying, I agree. I don't think he's libertarian enough. So I'm against that part. I don't think he's very professional. I don't like his personality or his character very much. That's just me. But yeah, his policies, they're okay. You know what? I think he did a lot of good for the country that when the country needed the most.
The thing I saw coming a mile away was tariffs. The conservatives loves tariffs, but I didn't think he was actually going to do it. But when he did do it, and I do have the stats here,
I love tariffs.
A change in long-run GDP was minus 0.06%. Change in long-run GDP, this is billions, by the way, minus $11.8 billion. Change in minimum wage rate, 0.06%. Change in full-time jobs. So this is a loss in jobs of 45,293 because of the tariffs. So, I mean, I'm looking at this economic hit we got, and it's just like, why? I knew this was going to do that to the economy if he did it, but why would he? I don't know. I understand that Justin has an entire thing you could say about the tariffs.
We'll get into another podcast. I'll just basically say I understand the conservative side. I'll say it. Today, I've changed my mind a bit on tariffs. I was open to both sides, and I heard both arguments about tariffs. For those who don't know, it's basically putting a tax on goods to keep them in country as opposed to import or exporting them to other places. But then again, it's putting a limit on the open market. If you're putting taxes on it, you're paying more money to keep it here, although the money's going into the economy, you're paying a lot more for it. Where if you're getting it built in a place like China, you're paying a lot less for it. There's more of an open market. You're making an agreement to trade with them. It's completely open. I've kind of changed my mind today, but I understand his side of it. I say I disagree with tariffs,
and I don't like him as a person, as a human being. I find him disgusting and repulsive. I don't like him. Like, I think a leader has a responsibility to be a leader morally and a leader in thoughts and in actions. And Trump is just the one person. If I had kids, I'd be like, this guy, look at him, and then be the opposite, and then you'll be pretty well off. I mean, he said, grab the. There are a few things he's done.
I don't like the argument of that joke that he said, though, because
it was just a dumb joke.
That was in a bus like 15 years ago.
I mean,
it's a dirty joke. Have you never said a dirty joke?
I've said plenty of dirty jokes, so I know about that.
That's true, but the question is...
You said when you have power, they let you grab them by their area.
Yeah.
People think he said, I grab women in their area. No. Yeah, he never said that.
He says they let you, but at the same time, you shouldn't go to grope people and then see if they let you.
No, and I'm not for it at all.
Yeah, but he didn't say that he did it. He said that...
he said that they let you. Well, actually, he did. He said that he did do it and that they let him. I think, anyways, it doesn't matter.
But either way, yeah.
My point is that he's not a good person.
And I agree. At least I'd say in his past, I've seen that. I've heard lots of people saying he's changed. We'll see from his fruit. I'm not going to judge him. I'm going to see by how he acts now. How is he now? Because in his past, not very great.
And his reputation will also be defined even after his presidency, right? So even after he's president, we'll see what happens, where he goes from there, what he goes for his life from there. So
because the thing is, we can talk policies all day when you're talking about voting for somebody, but fundamentally, if you disagree with them morally, this is my own opinion. When I'm voting for someone, I'm going to vote for someone that lines up most with me on my Christian values. If they don't, I'll find someone closest to that, and then we'll talk policies after. But to me, that's pretty important. Obviously, if they're quote unquote Christian and they're socialist, okay, no, that's very obvious because that's not agreeing with me morally. I think you can make a moral argument for that, but not just morally, but personality wise, kind of gross. Donald Trump.
He is a bit of a sleazeball.
I mean,
that's one way. I've never heard that word before.
I put policy first and the character second because I feel like how a person does his job.
Yeah, I think you need both. I don't think one is more than the other.
Well, and if I had to vote for one, like the last election cycle was like Hillary or Bernie.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Hillary or Trump, and both of them had terrible character.
Exactly, so you had to vote for policy-wise.
So, I mean, and I will always put policy ahead. If there's one person that's going to do his job amazing, and there's only going to be another guy that does his job moderately well, but his character is better, I'm still going to vote for the guy that does an amazing job. Because I think that performance is more important.
That's why Trump got majority vote, was because his policies, what he wanted, everyone wanted. It's not necessarily about the Trump supporters. You can't see it, but I'm doing the quote-unquote thing with my fingers.
He's actually not.
You're not.
This time.
Oh, actually, I am. You just can't see it. Anyway.
I can't see it either.
You're underneath the table.
Am I blind?
Never mind.
Oh my gosh, I'm blind.
Anyway.
It's the Monster Energy drinks.
The quote-unquote Trump supporters, quote-unquote Trump supporters didn't necessarily all like Trump and think he was an amazing guy. I mean, some certainly did. Actually, there's plenty of people out there that think he's
perfect,
the Messiah or something, obviously.
I have
but
seen that.
There's plenty of people that just Trump. Support what he wants to do and not the person. And I'm one of those people. I think we're actually all one of those people.
And there's just some of these people are just like, you know what? I just want to have my gun at my home, and I don't want the government to take my gun away.
Well, here's the thing, and I agree with Johnson when he said that I just want gay people to be able to smoke weed on their marriage day with guns.
Interesting.
That's a nice wedding.
So it's like you get the guns, you get the weed, you get the gay marriage, because the government should be out of all of that.
Yes.
I
agree with
100%.
100%.
100%.
Unfathomably 100%.
Fathom this.
Okay.
Anyways, let's go on to the news.
The news segment.
I think the very last thing we're going to say is his future.
Yeah.
He has an amazing approval rate right now. He's at, I can't remember the number off the top of my head. It was either in the high 40s or low 50s percentage of approval rate.
It shot up.
And we're going to our new segment.
But do you know why he's so popular, right? Him and Bernie?
Why?
You know why those two are the main popular people?
Why?
It's because people want someone that's anti-establishment, that's against the government. Trump claimed to be anti-establishment, and he was. The establishment is going after him to this day. That's why he won. Bernie claims to be anti-establishment when he's just establishment show, but the point is people want someone that's going against the government. That's what they want right now. They don't want the average government politician. That sounded X-rated.
And now for our news section.
Right to you, William.
For those that haven't heard, Bernie Sanders has recently entered the race to be president again. I tried going to his campaign website, but for some reason they won't let me get in unless I put in my email address, zip code, or donate. So whatever, I can't go there.
That's
but
weird.
I went to the Washington Post, and
why would you do a thing like that?
Because apparently they're representing him really well. So I want to get their side of it. Bernie Sanders.
Why are you gay?
I am not gay.
Because
Who are gay?
well,
Who is gay?
but
The frogs are gay.
Doesn't that make you gay?
The frogs are gay.
who is gay?
Anyway.
But who is gay?
Bernie Sanders 2020 policy agenda.
Bernie
Absolutely.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Son of a guns. Medicare for all. Action on climate change. $15 an hour minimum wage. Guys, don't raise the minimum wage.
Why
it
they know
destroys
that
jobs.
it's exactly 15? Why is it the perfect number? That's so random. 15.
Well, it just sounds right.
It just sounds nice and even and perfect.
So I'm just gonna read a bit of a blurb on this. Sending Bernie Sanders to run for president, proposing to enact a Medicare for all healthcare system, stave off catastrophic climate change through a Green New Deal and other climate measures, and implement a $15 an hour minimum wage for all American workers, according to aides
What? According to AIDS?
Someone's AIDS is talking.
AIDS to the senator.
Probably the...
Thank you for finishing your sentence.
The senator has
Why don't you
AIDS?
just stop at AIDS?
Why does the senator have AIDS?
I don't know.
And of course,
Please help him.
We can't talk about Bernie Sanders without playing his favorite tune. Makes you feel so patriotic for the Soviet Union, doesn't it? Now, going to a tweet by Bernie Sanders. How many yachts do billionaires need? How many cars do they need? Give us a break. You can't have it all. Bernie Sanders, you're already rich. You have 3 mansions. What are you talking about? Why are you ranting about the rich? You are rich. You hypocrite. And then Ben Shapiro tweeted back. How many jobs in a yacht manufacturing lines industry should disappear? How many car jobs disappear? Give us a break. You can't punish consumers without also punishing producers.
All right, let's repeat that without the music. Okay, what was the tweet? I kind of got.
I'm pretty sure it's not recorded. Right?
I'm sorry, but that anthem. I don't care what they're saying. If it's a socialist country, doesn't it go like? That's a good anthem. La 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 la.
It really makes me want to kill the rich.
La, 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 la.
Really makes me want to rob from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah, robbing that.
But yeah, no, I mean, I believe was it.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, maybe I believe it.
At least according to ISIS.
What?
You guys didn't pay attention to what I was saying.
Not at all.
I
was enjoying that USSR anthem.
That did kind of steal the show. But no, I mean, I did hear what you were saying. No, okay, but I believe Ben Shapiro said that, you know,
You're reading off my screen now.
No, I'm not. He said that, you know, Bernie said, you know, how many yachts do you need? And I believe was it this guy Ben? said, like, how many houses do you need?
People that listen to the podcast will hear what I said. You guys didn't. Too bad. So sad.
And now for Justin's news segment.
With the minimum, with the minimum wage, the $15 minimum wage, New York enacted it. New York lost
I'm
jobs.
not to talk about this after we do the Justin news segment thingy.
It's my thing.
It's his thing.
Time for Justin's news segment.
Or do you want to talk about this? I don't know. Or do you want to talk about this?
No, go ahead.
All right.
Okay, let's do it.
Do you guys know that there's an online petition that calls for the selling of Montana to help settle the U.S. debt? Isn't that weird? They were calling a petition to sell Montana to...
Why?
I'm trying to talk here, James. As much as I love that song, it speaks to my heart. They're trying to sell Montana to Canada. Now, as a Canadian, I look at Montana and think, that's a beautiful state. I also think everyone from Montana are hosers. They always sound like this. Oh, how's it going there, eh? I'm from Montana. What in the world, dude? I'm trying to talk here. I'm trying to do my thing. This petition, which is done by change.org. This petition. Thank you. I sound like Larry the Cucumber, but I don't care. It's called for 12,000 signatures. It calls for a $1 trillion sale of Montana to Canada. It suggested that the profit could go towards chipping away at the national debt, which this month soared to $22 trillion, which is insane, because the last time I checked, I thought it was $18 trillion. So now it looks like America's debt is $22 trillion. Basically, this is this is what the petition reads. I'll read it in a Montana accent. Canadian accent. We have too much debt, and Montana is useless. That's what the petition says. Just tell them it has beavers or something, eh? In a response to the petition, it was declined by the state.
Hey, I'll take it.
I like Montana. There's beautiful mountains there. They've got some nice parks. They got some jungles. They got some nice lakes. Montana, they say home of 10,000 lakes. Manitoba's home of 100,000 lakes. We kind of win there, but it's a beautiful place. I would have loved Montana.
Yeah, and you know what? The United States has gotten Alaska, so we might as well get one of theirs.
Exactly.
You know what? If you want to sell Alaska back to us, we'd probably get that.
We never had Alaska. It was Russia's.
Well, then we take it from someone. We take it from someone because it's ours.
Yeah, let's do it. And speaking of Russia,
on to the...
Hi ho, dude. Oh, you didn't play it. Oh. We mentioned Russia.
The one time that we actually need you to.
The one time we needed you when I said Russia. Nah, it's too late.
The time has passed.
And you know what?
Turn
that off.
Turn it off.
I think
time has passed.
For
Moment's
today,
over.
That was good, right? We talked about the ever-perfect Donald J. Trump. It was great. It was amazing. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. It was fill in the adjective.
Well, I do want to give a yellow vest update.
Oh, yeah!
Time for James's
new
segment.
Yeah.
I don't usually get a new segment, so this is actually...
And that concludes James's news. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying the McLeans and HuffPo have said that yellow vests are racist and white supremacists, and it's... No. Coming from someone that knows the leader of the Manitoba Yellow Vests, he's a Native American, and he doesn't take lightly to being called a white nationalist or a racist or anything like that. There might be a Nazi. Like, I saw a picture of a Nazi, right? Someone sent me that, and it's like, well, how do you explain this? And it's like, well, someone came along and did a Nazi salute, but he's in no way affiliated with us, because on our Facebook group, you can come and see, on the Facebook group, it says, we don't like this kind of thing. We don't even tolerate it. Like, the people don't tolerate it. The group doesn't tolerate it, either online or in person. So, whatever these people are talking, they're trying to be like, they're trying to smear the group because they don't like the group.
Exactly.
Which is actually expected at this point.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and Dankula's going to jail, I think.
What?
Oh, Dankula. He got an update too. He got his he has a 5-minute video up about how they want him to pay. If they don't, they're actually going to come and get him this time. And he's like, you know, you destroyed my life. You made my marriage miserable. All over a joke. He said, I'm right here. Come and get me. Wow. So subscribe to Count Dankula.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's support this guy. Yeah.
It's absurd.
It's absolutely absurd. I mean, like, the bloody thing is absurd. All these hierarchies is inevitable.
Yeah, the lobster hierarchies are...
The lobsters!
I cannot make a Kermit the Frog voice for the life of me.
The lobsters... Hello, Kermit the Frog here.
At this point, we're just doing buzzwords.
The lobsters are inevitable.
Painting rainbows, what's on the other side? That's Kermit.
That's pretty good.
I can work on it.
Why do you date a pig, Kermit the Frog?
Well,
I wonder what their babies would look like.
Does Donald Trump,
a pig frog? Well, they are turning the freaking frogs gay, so they probably won't marry her anyways.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm not actually saying that Melania Trump isn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't say that.
Oh no!
Next movie, Kermit's gonna be gay.
I mean.
Hey Mars, I'm Kermit.
He kind of acts.
All because of Alex Jones. Kermit will be gay.
I mean, look. Kermit definitely acts gay, and he's
pretty
near
fruity.
a lot of gay water. Okay. On top of that, his pig. I don't think his pig is actually a woman.
I think it's a tranny.
I do think it's a tranny.
He just wears a wig.
Yeah.
Hi! Wait, what's she sound like again?
I'm a man.
What?
I mean, sorry,
I'm a woman. I'm a man. I mean, I'm a woman.
Is that woman's voice that you think when people are trying to be a woman?
Hello, Kermit. I can't do a woman's voice. Yeah. Hello, Kermit. Nope, can't do a Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy's definitely a tranny. I mean, there's no way around it. Which makes Kermit gay.
Wow.
And that's where Alex Jones got her from.
It's all from Kermit the Frog, the sipping the tea meme. And pretty much...
Wait. Was the tea gay? I mean, was the tea the gay water?
This is getting weird. I think this is kind of stretching.
So much of it is going to get cut out.
Stretching.
So much. We're ending this podcast now. Thank you.
This was not very interesting.
This is boring.
All right, let's end this here. Alrighty, I think this pretty much does for us today in the Shrink the State podcast. I hope you guys all have a beautiful weekend. We've had a great time here today. Catch you all on the flippity flop.
See ya.
Bye.